Okay, so we want to do chapter 9, mastery test number 9, which says solve for the specified variable, right? So there's 4 parts here. Let's start with part A, say, right? All right, so it says I want to solve 2a over h equals b for h. Okay? So this means, right, that I'm going to treat all the other letters as though they were numbers, and I'm going to try to find h equals stuff. Cool? So first off, h is on the bottom. That's not going to get me h equals stuff, right? So I should try to get the h on the top. So what can I do to both sides of this thing to get h on the top?
Multiply by h.
Yeah, multiply by h. Be careful with flipping both sides over. That works as long as it's fraction equals fraction. It gets much more troublesome when it's like sum of fractions equal fraction. So I would say let's multiply both sides by h. What does that leave me with on the left? 2a.
What?
So the h's canceled.
Oh, with h on top.
I'm multiplying the whole equation, right? This whole equation, multiplying both sides by h. On the right-hand side, what do I get? BH. Okay, now I'm almost to h by itself.
Is that a z or a 2?
That's a 2.
Okay.
Thanks.
I thought it was a z, sorry.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
There'd be only one.
So let's see. Yeah, I want to solve for h. So what do I do?
Divide by
Divide by b. Yeah, there's no numbers in here. How would I solve it?
Well, no, like if you did ZA equals BH, like how on earth would you solve something like that? Well, it's only asking
Exactly the
right?
same way.
What?
What? Yeah, exactly the same way. The letters just substitute for a spot that I would put a number later, right? So if I'm just going to put a number in there later, I can just treat it like it's a number. This is the idea of a variable, really. So when I divide both sides by b, what do I get on the left?
2a over b.
2a over b, and what's that equal to?
H.
H. So now I've found out what h is, right? H is 2a over b.
Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah, let's have a lot of them.
All right, how do I do, say, b here, where I've got 1 over x minus 1 over y is 1 over z. I'm trying to solve for z.
Oh, so you don't have to find the numbers that go in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there aren't going to be numbers for x and y here. There weren't numbers for a and b there.
Thank God. I thought we were going to find numbers.
Nope.
Freaking out. Like,
So how do I start this one? I want z equals stuff, right? So what do I do? Yeah, multiply both sides by z over 1. You guys with me on that? Okay, so we multiply both sides by z. That gets me on the left. Careful with that. Don't bother to distribute here. So I got z times 1 over x minus 1 over y. And that's going to equal 1. Why 1? Because z was on the bottom, so I'm going to end up with a z over z, right?
Put this z on top of each thing so I know.
If you put the z on top of each thing, you're going to have to factor it out again in a second. Why am I going to have to factor it out again in a second? Yeah, I want to get z by itself. Right now I've got z times some crap is 1, right? Yeah, so I want to divide by this crap. So we literally just apply divide by 1 over x minus 1 over y to both sides. Right? It's horrible, right? It's a messy looking thing, but it's just some stuff, so divide by it. You get, what do I get on the left? Z. And on the right?
1 over 1x minus
1 over 1 minus, or, sorry, 1 over 1 over x minus 1 over y. You guys see this? Is this simplified?
I guess, yes.
It doesn't really say to simplify, it says to solve, right?
Can't solve it much farther than that.
This is, in my mind, solved.
Yeah.
Is it simplified? No. But is it solved?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you find at the very beginning?
Yep.
What did you find the common bottom between C1 over 8 and then just leave it?
Yep, that'll work. So another strategy here would be to find a common bottom over here, right? To make a honest fraction on this side, then flip both sides over. That'll do the same thing.
If you
You'll get the simplified version of this instead. What's
Could
that?
you, because 1 over x, that's the same thing as x to negative 1 power, right?
Mhm.
So could you put x minus y on top, the very top?
You could rewrite as z equals 1 over x to the minus 1 minus y to the minus 1.
But if you want the x y part, can you?
But you can't put them on the top.
Okay.
The reason you can't put them on the top is this thing needs a common bottom before you could put them on the top.
Okay.
If you want to find a common bottom here, then you could simplify, right? But they just said solve. I already did that. I'm not going to do any more because I'm basically more likely to make a mistake, right? You guys all cool with that one? All right, how about this guy? What do I do on that guy? Why is this one harder? Yeah, there's two x's and they're attached to each other kind of by plus minuses and division, right? You guys see that? So my goal on things like this, solving for x, should be to get all the x's together, right? You guys see that? So I would like them to be in the top or bottom on the same side, really ideally in the top, right?
Could you multiply both sides by x over 1 then?
Close.
Minus 5?
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to get rid of the bottom, right? If I multiply by x over 1, this thing will still be in the bottom. But if I multiply both sides by x minus 5, then this stuff will end up in the top on the other side. You guys see that? So I'm making a trade, really. So here we're going to multiply by x minus 5 both sides. So I'm going to get on the top on the left, what? X plus 4. What do you get on the right? Y times x minus 5.
Doesn't that continue over to x plus 4? Oh, I got it already. No, because the x is going to be y, x minus 5, and then x plus, we got to move the x over to the negative 4 over.
You guys all see that? She's saying I want the x on the other side, right? There's an x over here. I want it over there. I want the 4 over there, right?
You have to distribute to do that?
Yeah, to do that, I need to distribute this y through. Otherwise, I won't be able to get the x over there. It's attached to this y. Right, so next step here is just distribute. So I get x plus 4 is what? xy minus 5y. Now my goal is to solve for x's, right? So on all the x's on one side, all the y's and junk on the other. So everything that's got an x, pull it to the left. So how do I get everything with an x to the left? Okay, I can subtract xy. So now I've got x plus 4 minus xy is negative 5y. Okay, now I want to move the 4 over, so I should subtract 4 from both sides. You guys see that? So on the left, I'll have x minus xy, and on the right, I'll have negative 5y minus 4. Okay, now what should I do? Yeah, I want to divide by, I want this y out of there, right? You guys see that? But if I divide by y, it won't get out of, well, it'll get out of this piece, right? But it won't get out of that one. I'll put a new one in there. So I've got to take an x out first. You guys see that? So I factor an x out of this. So what am I left with? A 1 minus y, and that's minus 5y minus 4. So then what do I do to both sides?
Divide by 1 minus 1.
Yeah, divide by the stuff that's multiplied by x. So I'm dividing by 1 minus y here. I'll get x is what? Minus 5y minus 4 over, oops, over 1 minus y. Yeah.
How do we get the 1 minus y?
So I thought to myself, what do I multiply by x to get x? That's a 1. What do I multiply by x to get minus xy? That's a minus y. Really, I'm unfactoring, right?
Okay.
Or, sorry, I'm undistributing, which is factoring. Cool? Questions? Good on that one? All right, how about this guy?
Same thing?
Same thing. So I got a's in the bottom. I should multiply both sides by a minus c. So I'll get AC equals b times a minus c. Then I should,
No, distribute first.
yeah, I'd like to divide by c, right? But there's an a over here too. You guys see that? I need all the a's on one side, so I should distribute first. So your AC is BA minus BC. Then what? Subtract BA from both sides. Get AC minus BA is B. Oops, what did I lose?
Minus BC.
Minus BC. Okay, then what? Factor an A out of the left. So I'll get A times stuff is minus BC. What's the stuff? C minus B. Then what do I do? Divide by C minus B. So that'll leave me with A equals minus BC over C minus B. Okay. Cool? Questions on these? Okay.